Hello, I'm Bill Smoyer and this is Erik Mosher from Access Hardware Supply, and we'd like to thank you for attending our third virtual trade show today.
We'd also like to thank those who submitted questions when signing up for this event. Bill, myself, and our special guest will be answering those during this presentation.
We're doing things a little bit differently this time around, and we went straight to the source and recorded in-depth remote interviews with Mark Casey from Allegion and Mark Duato from ASSA ABLOY to get their thoughts on the state of the industry. They're here live with us today to answer any questions you have.
We also will be showing their interview segments throughout this presentation. Recently, I had the opportunity to get back in the field to visit Trimco in their Oceanside facility to meet their team and shoot several short product demos.
We'll also look at touchless switches by Camden, and of course it's not an Access Hardware Supply virtual trade show without prize giveaways. We have 4 $250 Amazon gift cards and 2 ASSA ABLOY ES100s, their new product, and also 2 of the Schlage NDEBs. There will be multiple prize drawings throughout the event, so let's get started now.
So Mark, from a 30,000 foot level, what is the current state of the access control industry? And what is it poised to do? Are there any new opportunities that need to be explored?
That's a great question, Erik. But first, I wanted to say thank you to you and the whole Access Hardware team for having me here today. When I think about the access control industry as a whole, where we are and where we're going, I really think about it from a software standpoint and how our solutions are used. Currently, access control is looked at as kind of a set it and forget it, disparate system. And moving forward, it's really going to be more integrated with how our business and operating systems in our buildings are utilized. Thinking about moving forward and what we're going to be expecting from the market, I think about the vast amounts of data generated from an access control system and how we're really doing very little with it today besides opening and closing a door. And so when I think about what we're going to be expecting to see, think about different types of solutions once we start analyzing all of that data and what we can do with it in the future.
I'm happy to say that from ASSA ABLOY's perspective, the security industry has never been stronger, and the need for our solutions and services has never been better. Certainly, there have been some economic challenges that have slowed the pace of demand for certain types of products and services. However, on the flip side, industry in general is looking for efficient ways to bring their employees and workforce back to work. One common theme that we all know is true is that end users want to get more out of their budget. They need to get more out of their budget. And we also know that each of you are facing more competition and there's more price compression. So we at ASSA ABLOY have looked to different ways to bring online or virtual online performance for access control to you, leveraging very unique application products. And wireless technology is one great example of getting deeper and being able to capture more openings in a more costly way or less costly way, in a more cost-efficient way. On the summary, I would say we're very bullish at ASSA ABLOY and where the security industry is, even though there's been an economic impact for sure. Where the industry is heading, these types of situations tend to drive innovation.
Current research shows that system integrators and technicians are getting younger each year. How are you responding to these shifting demographics?
Systems integration companies, security professionals, these demographics are absolutely changing. And the experience that many people today, because of the change in demographics, the experience that many people today want in their commercial environment is really tied for the first time ever to some of the experiences they're getting in their home environments. And by using smart lock, smart technology at their home, and even mobility, mobile keys, mobile access, they want these same conveniences in their commercial applications. So we at ASSA ABLOY feel very confidently that the demand for these types of technologies and innovations will continue to grow as the workforce gets younger and the way of doing business is just a little different, whether it's e-commerce or other things of that nature.
Allegion certainly noticed a trend with far younger talent entering in the security space. As we look at how we invest to support that, it's with the digitization of our assets, like our how-to manuals on mobile apps, the installation videos, our YouTube channels, our weekly webinar Wednesdays, and even our bi-monthly Security in 30 discussions with industry professionals, trying to provide as many tools and information available for new entrants to our security industry. At Allegion, personally, we're taking a look at early career programs to be able to help build our own talent pool and really create the next generation professional with our sales development program and our spec writer apprentice program. But we do partner with external organizations like the As Is Young Professionals and RISE, which is a program available through SIA. I'd encourage anybody new to the industry to take a look at those available programs.
As more hardware devices and security systems become connected and mobile enabled, how are you upping your game in regards to cybersecurity and hacking?
Allegion strives to provide seamless access for a safer world. With our Security Development Lifecycle program, security and privacy are driven into the core of our development practices. If there are security updates or vulnerabilities that are identified, we release firmware and software updates to accommodate them. We utilize not only internal but external third-party security testing and penetration testing to make sure that the products we're releasing are ready for the market. We do also hold our third-party software providers to the same standards as our devices are ultimately integrated to their solutions that you're providing our end users. That way we make sure that we've truly got a well-rounded, secure solution going out to the market.
Every one of us knows today, because we face it in the media every day, we face it in our discussions with our customers, that cybersecurity is at the absolute forefront of, and data security is at the absolute forefront of every business enterprise's mind. And as well it should be. And it doesn't matter what the vertical application is, whether you're a higher ed university where the demand for wireless infrastructure has gone up so dramatically, and that's introduced risk, or even in conventional, more conventional type secure applications where the security at the edge of the enterprise, wherever that may be, needs to really be locked down and tight. Security is the combination, and cybersecurity really is a combination of utilizing high secure identities, utilizing highly secure electronic and mechanical technologies, both online and offline intelligent access control devices, and protecting that perimeter while having a really well-established cyber program in place.
We have a few more interview segments on deck, but first, let's check out my visit to Trimco to learn more about their healthy hardware and other touchless solutions. Hi, I'm Erik Mosher with Access Hardware Supply. Today, we decided to take the virtual trade show out into the real world, so I came down to Oceanside, California to meet the folks at Trimco. Let's learn about some of their product offerings and their operations together.
This is a barn door that's common in hospitality and hotels, anywhere where square footage is an issue and you might not want the door swinging out, taking up too much room, so the door slides back and forth. The problem comes in when you want to lock it. So our engineers have patented this wall strike. So when you're ready to lock it, the bolt is going to come out here to go into the wall strike, like this. When you're ready to unlock, you can pull the 1074 lever to release. These come in our standard architectural finishes as well as a primer coat so that you can paint it to match the wall so that it blends in really nicely.
These are our patented AP330 hands-free adjustable door pulls. They come standard with offset standoffs that are adjustable center to center for easy installation in the field. The 1.5-inch clearance complies with ADA guidelines. The straw shape makes it very easy and convenient to operate hands-free. Let me show you. These are available in our satin stainless steel finish as well as our Cuvero healthy hardware finish.
This is our patented ultimate hands-free slide lock. The slide lock is a perfect solution for single occupancy restrooms, and it has a couple of cool features that I want to show you today. One of these features is an internal and external occupancy indicator, which not only tells the person in the restroom that the restroom is locked, but the person entering the restroom doesn't have to push on the door, do a jiggle test, or even knock to see if someone's inside. So once you're in the restroom, you have the option of locking it with either the side of your fist. You can also use your elbow. You can also grab a paper towel and you can move it with your hand back and forth. Once you're ready to exit the restroom, slide your arm under the slide lock and pull open. All units get shipped with Trimco hands-free signage to proudly place on the inside of your door.
Now let's take a look at Trimco's UFP Series Ultimate Foot Pull. Come check it out. This is Trimco's UFP Ultimate Foot Pull. It comes with 3 mounting points so that it's extra sturdy. It's got 2 rubber bumpers, so if there's no doorstop stopping the door, it won't damage the wall. And it's also got this very ridged edge so that way it really sticks on the bottom of the shoe sole. Allow me to demonstrate how it works.
One of the things I really admire about the Trimco team is here I am standing in the engineering office where you can see behind me is the window to the manufacturing plant. It allows for a great open and team environment.
And now we're taking a quick closer look at Trimco's patented PVT 8000 push pad cover and healthy hardware. And now we're going to show you how easy it is to install, no tools necessary, just like this. Another great purpose is when you have a beat-up push pad. This will make it look just like new. Each of our healthy hardware products comes with its own signage so that you can display it proudly on your door.
You may notice many of the doors around the Trimco facility have this signage on it. It signifies healthy hardware, which is our bactericidal copper products. It's actually certified by the EPA, and the metals that we manufacture with actually kill bacteria. There's no coatings on it, so there's nothing to scratch or wear off over time. Healthy hardware comes in a broad range of product solutions that really tailor themselves towards hospitals, schools, commercial and industrial facilities. Some of those products are our 1562 hospital latch that you see here, as well as our 9 series mortise locks and trims. To best suit our customers' needs, Trimco offers a wide range of healthy hardware product solutions. Some of these include push and pull plates, a wide range of pulls, cabinet hardware, flush pulls, countertops, and a lot more. To see how we can help make your facility safer for your customers, employees, and vendors, check out healthyhardware.com.
And now we're going to talk about our patented LDH 100 series. lockdown hardware. What is lockdown hardware? Lockdown hardware is a cost-effective solution for one-touch mechanical lockdowns. Universities, government buildings, most of them have a push bar exit device. A teacher or a high-rank official will be able to lock the building using a hex key this way. But now, if it's unlocked and this key is not available, all we have to do is push this one button and the building's locked. LDH100 is easily retrofitted to most existing commonly used exit devices. Lockdown hardware aligns perfectly with Trimco's mission statement, which is to manufacture products that make the world safer. Now, how is that not a great product? I expect you guys to go buy it. Thank you very much.
Well, it's sure been interesting meeting the good folks at Trimco. We can't thank them enough for participating in our virtual trade show. If you want to learn more about their product offerings or just their operations in general, check out healthyhardware.com.
Okay, let's get right to it with our first 4 drawings for 2 $250 Amazon cards and one of the ASSA ABLOY ES100s and one of the Schlage NDEBs. So Erik, if you'll present me with the list here. Drawing first name, not looking. All right, our first winner of a $250 Amazon card is Erik Roush from Santa Rosa Junior College. Congratulations. And our second winner of the Amazon $250 card is, didn't bring one out? Okay, it doesn't have tape on it, I promise. Okay, our second winner is Eduardo Cure from Lattice Servicios. And now let's go to the ASSA ABLOY ES100, which is their new Aperio wireless strike and reader solution. So the winner is, I just have one, Erik?
Yep.
Okay. Stephen Nichols from American Direct, C.H. Edwards Incorporated. And our winner of the Schlage NDEB is Mike Chavez from Interworks. Congratulations, Mike.
Congratulations indeed. Now, let's jump into our interview and continue it with Mark Casey of Allegion and Mark Duato of ASSA ABLOY. And after that, we're going to do a few questions live. More and more companies are incorporating green access control products to reduce building management costs. How are you responding to this trend, and what are the product lines?
It's a good question, Erik. Allegion as a whole is very conscious of green initiatives, and as a manufacturing organization are implementing them during our manufacturing processes as well as in our products. Specifically as it relates to access control hardware, I would think more around power consumption. And as we're moving towards the standardization of motors for solenoids in our products, as we work on battery management for our wireless battery powered devices, and even in helping drive mobile solutions to avoid waste in not only the PVC ID cards, but also the consumables that are used during the printing processes.
If I asked you what sustainability meant to you, I'm sure everyone would have a little bit of a different answer. However, what we know is that sustainable technologies, sustainable products, and innovations really start with a business's ability to put programs in place that are green by nature and sustainable by nature, that leave less carbon footprint where possible. And there are environmental product declarations and health product declarations that the Green Council distributes based on certain types of products and technologies that reflect the sustainable efforts of a particular product or particular business or enterprise. So what I would suggest in today's world is that you should speak with your customers candidly about what their sustainable initiatives are. And if, by example, they want to build a highly sustainable, green, LEED certified building of some type, and you can show innovations in your access control and security management applications, which contribute to the value of those sustainable buildings, those are discussions which can separate yourself from the competition.
Physical security infrastructure has traditionally been seen as a cost of doing business. Can access control and security systems also provide business intelligence and operational insights?
Yeah, security systems can definitely be leveraged for more than what they were intended for. When we think about that, really, as they become more integrated with the other software platforms in use in a building, you can really start to extract more value from them. Depending on the vertical market, there's a lot of different ways that people are trying to accomplish this. One that comes to mind is in the multifamily space. There's a ton of technology innovation going on in that space right now, ultimately with access control being a core piece of it, with a number of different services being added on top of it. When you think about that and think about how you can lower the operating cost, how you can reduce the amount of tasks that an individual has to do on that site, and potentially even lower the number of full-time employees needed to operate it, that really provides the operational efficiency for a multifamily owner. A couple of key examples of that would be as you look at the costs associated with keying a facility and then rekeying when you have a new tenant coming in. All of that can be eliminated if you deploy smart credentials. Being able to then simply deactivate the credential once a tenant moves out, and then be able to reissue a credential to the new tenant. You didn't have to go and physically go to that door. You didn't have to rekey it, and you can even reuse the credential for the next tenant. Taking that a step further, there's also now, of course, the addition of mobile technologies that can be used there. And mobile has actually enabled yet another operational reduction and efficiency that multifamily operators are seeing with self-tour. When you think of the amount of time and money that an operator spends actually trying to attract the new tenants, tour the facility, let them into their potential unit, all of that can now be done with self-tour software and a mobile credential that could be sent down to them. So there's certainly ways that access control and other software systems can be deployed to lower operational costs. It just varies a little bit based on the market that you're in.
As it relates to physical security infrastructure and how the demands of security are perceived within a business enterprise as either a cost center or a profit center, yes, it is true that physical security has often been seen as a cost center. But I challenge each of you to think about how you speak with your customers about that, i.e., what is the cost to the business and or the risk to the business by not having the physical security technologies and the logical security technologies in place in order to effectively analyze data either in a forensic way and or have intelligent logical actions occur in a preemptive way to help control security risks. And companies think every day about how they protect their intellectual property, particularly as it relates to the remote workforce today. So logical and physical access has never been more important. And the IT groups generally are, as I think we all know, leading those discussions. So no longer is it really ideal to be just talking to one side of the house, i.e. the physical security side of the house, without having deep conversations with the IT side of the organization in order to validate the value of any investments in security technology, be it access control and or video, which are will always be quite complementary. So one way to approach that is to make sure that you're changing the discussion and talking about the risks that emerge when certain types of protection are not being implemented. And when you can tie that back to lowering the cost of an opening for access control, i.e. using things like wireless integrated lock technology, like our Perio technology, to lower that cost per opening in certain types of applications, there is a return there.
Once feared, cloud-based technology is becoming the mainstream in the security industry. What would you say to any holdouts to the cloud?
Everybody in each of your worlds, and certainly in mine, I operate with cloud-based technology literally every single day. And we engage in that every single day, whether it's in streaming videos or other type of work applications where the data and the management of those applications is hosted remotely. If you're not discussing the benefits of a cloud infrastructure platform alongside the conventional on-premise style applications that have been so prominent in the industry for so long, then you're missing an opportunity to create more value with your customer and or your prospective customer. There are so many really good cloud-based applications out in the marketplace today. The operational benefits and the budgetary benefits of leveraging the cloud and also building recurring revenue base as an integration community that you can bundle services into are very clear. And I think now with the changing work environment, this is only putting cloud technology exponentially on the forefront of what customers and end users want. I wish you well with the cloud technology. It's not going anywhere, it's only growing.
I would say the rate of adoption continues to increase, not just for access control, but as you think of the security space, access control, video surveillance, visitor management, all of those continue to evolve, and there's more and more entrants into the cloud solution side of the equation. As a consultant for your customers, you really should be able to walk them through the evaluation of what it would look like to deploy both an on-premise solution as well as a cloud-based solution, and ultimately have both to offer them as well. When you think about what that means for your business, think about the solutions that you're providing. Is that more of a CapEx or an OpEx reoccurring type revenue model? And if it is a reoccurring revenue model, you're going to want to be sure that you are ultimately able to accommodate your salespeople and your service people to support the reoccurring model. If you're paying your salespeople based off of more of a capital expenditure type project, but you're asking them to sell a reoccurring style product where the initial investment's not going to be as much, you're not going to see that adoption. So if you do continue to move down the road of deploying cloud software, I would hope that you guys also take a look at your sales incentive plan for your own teams.
Well, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the recorded segments. And now we're going to take some live questions. And the question comes from Mateo R. of Side Spas. Are home automation and access control safe from a technology aspect for the end user? Is there anyone who can really guarantee a home access control system?
Really there's a lot of options out there in the home security space as well as home automation, both in the standalone environment or fully integrated systems. Something as simple as our Schlage Sense Lock with a standalone app, or the Schlage and Code Lock that integrates into a number of different ecosystems. As you're evaluating the different solutions that you have out there, I would really suggest looking into not only the product and the technology, but the manufacturers putting it out there, how established they are, the security and cyber practices that they put into the research and development, as well as the testing and the quality assurance of it. The other piece I would certainly take into consideration is how you're deploying it, right? It's just going to be buy 6 different pieces off of Amazon, DIY kind of solution that you're trying to put together, or working with a security professional and home automation professional that does this for a living, is going to adhere to the technology standards and ultimately position you for success with a fully monitored and professionally installed solution.
And I would just add to Mark's good comments there. Ultimately, that user experience.
That's great. And Mr. Duato, what do you have?
Well, I'm sorry, Bill. Can you hear me okay? I was speaking. You can't hear me. Okay, great. No, I was going to say, following up on Mark's good comments, I think at the end of the day, the user experience really matters in residential security and access control, and having those technologies be delivered by a reputable sales and service organization will always matter. We shouldn't ever really look at just the cost of a component of that solution. You should look at the total cost of ownership in acquiring the solutions that you need. And, there's a lot of security built into these platforms today, right on the get-go. So it's important to make sure you're using good technology, but also the deliverable and service and sales element of it are really important.
And our second question is from Paul L. of Hills Brothers Lock and Safe. And he asks, what do you offer in the mobile credential system category? How would you specify and configure, and how would you price credentials, readers, and controllers, etc., from a dealer perspective? And we'll have Mr. Duato lead us off this time.
Thanks, Bill. I'll have myself off mute this time. So, well, as many of you may know, HID Global is an ASSA ABLOY company. It's a global business within our portfolio. And HID has always been known as a secure technology company, a secure identity company. From the integrated hardware side of our business at ASSA ABLOY, we want to be able to leverage not only HID secure credentials for mobile access control, whether they're physical or virtual through the phone, but we also want to be able to leverage other types of mobile credentials where they are applicable, including things like data on card type applications. So our objectives, and fortunately we're pleased to be able to provide a whole suite of products that support all different types of mobile credentials today, all in very secure ways, depending on the type of application. Vertical application, i.e. whether it's a multi-tenant building or whether it's a more of an institutional type application in colleges and universities. And in terms of acquiring those technologies, they're really quite easy to acquire these days through virtual portals, and you can get that support from AHS on which products best fit the application needs, and from us as a manufacturing company.
And Mark, what do you have to say?
Yeah, well, I'll jump in there. And Mark made a lot of great points as it relates to not necessarily being a one-size-fits-all approach. When you think about your customer's unique needs, really customer by customer, vertical by vertical. Schlage being the mobile credential brand offering under Allegion, whether it's Bluetooth or near field communication. instead of taking an approach of specifying and configuring a one size fits all, I would really encourage you to reach out to your support staff at Access Hardware or at Allegion to see what mix really fits the needs. And from a pricing standpoint, also taking a look at not thinking about it just as a product, but what are the other value-added services that you bring to the table with or for your customer, and really bundling that together and not just looking at it as simply a transaction.
And our third question for Mark Casey and Mark Duato comes from Mike M. of RLS Fire Protection. And he asks, what wireless lock and wireless reader technologies do you offer? And we'll lead this off with Mark Casey.
Thanks, Bill. Wireless locks really come in all shapes and sizes, as does the wireless technology driving it. For example, from a Schlage standpoint, in the 900 megahertz spread spectrum, we utilize cylindrical mortise and exit trim under the AD brand. They're connecting back to a panel interface module. That 900 megahertz is really designed to get you the best penetration through typical building construction, usually up to about 200 feet through those walls and about 1,000 feet line of sight. And depending on the application, we also have another offering with our NDE and LE families of products, which are communicating with either BLE or Wi-Fi, which ultimately are running on different networks and will utilize a different distance in between the lock and the either the gateway in Bluetooth or the access point using your existing Wi-Fi network.
And now, Mr.
So I'll add,
we'd like to hear you respond to the same question.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. And I'll add to Mark's comments. I think probably the single most important thing if you're a security provider or if you're an end user is to understand that all wireless is not created equal. Different wireless platforms and technologies are designed to be applied in different ways based on the specific needs of the customer. And if you are assuming a certain type of performance at an access control opening when using wireless technology, it's really important to make sure you understand whether the wireless technology that you've chosen can actually give you the performance that you need. So in ASSA ABLOY's case, we really decided a long time ago to deliver multiple wireless technology platforms into the marketplace. The Aperio family of products is an 802.15 IEEE standard. It's sort of a Zigbee radio communication format that's a global standard for ASSA ABLOY. What changes across the regions of the world are the types of hardware that essentially are used alongside the radio communication technology. And it's a virtual real-time communication experience, whether there's an event at the door or there's transaction information that you require. By comparison, we also have an IP family of Wi-Fi and as a sister to that, PoE-based technologies that are essentially single door controllers that have their own database that exist within those types of locking technologies. Very popular and extremely high density door applications, i.e. higher education. And then there's also the data on card system architectures that exist out in the field, of which we have several that allow you to have a virtual network where the transactions essentially exist on the card itself and the clearances and rights exist on the cards themselves. Is that a wireless technology? Some might say it is, others maybe not so much. So it's really important that you understand the differences and where to apply each of those technologies because we make them readily available to you.
Well, Erik, one question came in that I'm going to field, and this comes from Marshall C. of Forge Growth Partners, and he asks, how do you plan to help service providers better tie together the value chain of electronic access control and mechanical hardware, for example, locksmiths and systems integrators? And this has kind of been an age-old question. From the aftermarket perspective, I always encourage systems integrators, if they don't have someone on staff that's familiar with door hardware, to partner with a locksmith. They're going to provide you great solutions and know all the codes. From a new construction perspective, it gets a little bit more difficult. Typically, the specifications lie in different realms of the project, and I suggest the best plan of action is to communicate. You got to have clear communication of who's doing what, and most importantly, from an end user perspective, you have to have the ability to get a clear theory of operation from the end user, because the last thing you want to have is a customer who didn't get what they thought they were going to get. So communication's the key, just like in everything else in life, Eric, right?
Absolutely.
I also have one other question. It came from a Bauman F of Glass Professionals, and he asks, on handicapped door operators, how do you pair the wireless transmitter with the receiver? You know, Bauman, it varies based upon the manufacturer. And the nice thing in the 21st century is the manufacturers provide written instructions. A lot of them have great resources on websites and even YouTube channels. So I suggest taking a look at this early on, review the information before you're in the field, and I always encourage that you bench test everything before you get out in the field. The last thing you want to do is to appear unknowledgeable to your client. So that's my recommendation on that. And now we have a question for Mr. Mosher.
Well, my question was from Paul of Able Locksmith, and he asked, he wants more information on installation. Well, Paul, I'd suggest to you to first check out our website and look at our Access Academy. We have some great training resources there. There's even some training resources from us on our YouTube channel. And let's not forget, you can always look at the manufacturer's website. Typically, they have some great information there. And last but not least, if you reach out to your sales rep, I'm sure they can guide you to the right place. Well, Bill, it's about that time. We got another name to pull out of the hat. Earlier, we gave away one of the ES100 electric strikes, and we're going to give one away right now.
All right, and along with another NDEB?
That's correct.
All right, so the drawing, this is for the ASSA ABLOY ES100. Again, new product, wireless battery-powered strike and reader solution with the Aperio technology. And the winner is Terry Plans of Bear Valley Unified School District. Well, I'm sure that the product works well under weather conditions. If you're familiar with Big Bear area, it's up in elevation, so we're going to give that a good test. And our second winner of the Schlage NDEB, again, Schlage's new wireless lock solution with a Bluetooth mobile credential abilities built in. The winner of that product is James Lane from UCI Irvine, or United California Irvine. Congratulations to James for winning that NDEB. And before we get to that,
well, Bill, let's circle back. Let's watch the third part of our interview with Mark Casey of Allegion and Mark Duato of ASSA ABLOY. There's a lot more good information to check out.
All right, thanks, Eric.
How has the COVID-19 pandemic redefined the role of the security professional, especially in healthcare environments?
Since the early days of the pandemic, we've been having customers reach out asking for our assistance to automate their openings, to reduce the need for touch and contact, and ultimately prevent the spread of germs. In the healthcare environment, especially where most facilities are ADA compliant, most of them already have auto operators on a number of their openings, where now we're just simply converting more of a push button actuator to more of a contactless wave actuator. For those openings that don't have any type of automation to them, there's a variety of options available, whether that be a high-speed slider, low-speed auto operator for swing doors, or even for a low-tech, pure mechanical solution for lower traffic options. There's simply hands-free door pulls that would be available. There's a number of other technologies out there that have been introduced to the security space over this past year to try to combat the pandemic. Everything from thermal temperature scanning and thermal cameras, contact tracing and occupancy management, really up to the healthcare providers to use the right layered approach for their own needs.
Ironically enough, healthcare has probably been more so at the forefront at automated electronic openings and or access control than many other vertical industries. So automating an opening is something that is typically designed right into the construction and or retrofit projects that are happening in healthcare. I think what we will see as a result of the pandemic will be significant investments in streamlining the process of having people visit and or patients be entered into a healthcare environment. And we'll use technology to help us do that, whether it's pre-registration through certain types of applications and or seeing an increased demand for automated and ideally frictionless, less touch access control. Biometrics is certainly an element to that, but it's one component in terms of the opening itself. You still need the automation of the opening itself. I also think the demands for more video and access control at different openings within a healthcare environment will grow dramatically. Mobility will also become an important and is becoming important in healthcare environments as well.
What are the best ways to utilize touchless access control in schools and college campuses?
The education vertical market has always been on the forefront of leveraging things like wireless integrated locks. In many cases, primarily in higher education, because of the door density and also because of the security demands of colleges and universities in ensuring that their students can safely enter into their housing units, et cetera. And there's also some significant additional benefits in the higher ed market of being able to easily provision and deprovision openings as more and more of these programs that are run in throughout the year by colleges and universities begin to return back into use of the housing and academic spaces. So wireless technology like Apereo is highly valuable in those applications. Now, K through 12 by comparison have generally protected perimeter quite well with some communication and maybe some video. But what we're seeing now is a very large trend towards school districts having remote access capabilities, more situational awareness in K through 12, and the benefits of being able to bring technology deeper at a classroom level for access control are becoming more and more clear in those environments. And the costs of doing that have gone down significantly, where we can use wireless technology with real-time remote functionality in order to have that situational awareness. So K through 12 is a very rich area to explore in new technologies such as wireless technology.
Really, there's a lot of similarity in between the touchless offerings that we have for education institutions, as well as what we already discussed for the healthcare environment. As we look at working with our customers in creating a blended approach of both mechanical and electrified mechanical solutions based on the usage of the opening, the risk of that opening, and any other environmental needs that they have, to be able to provide more of the auto operator with wave actuator to make it truly contactless, and then integrating it with one of our access control readers operated by either a contactless smart card or a mobile credential to be able to get more of that secure as well as automated opening. When we speak specifically about the higher ed market, and we look at what we're doing with our one card providers to migrate people from either a old mag stripe or ProxGuard technology into a contactless mobile credential, there's really a lot going on in that space. One example specifically, working with our partner Seaboard and their CS Gold software at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, we were able to meet the needs of the students as they requested to be able to use their phones as their credential, not only for access control, but for meals on campus, for secure print, library, all of the other services that they're able to get through the Seaboard platform. When we look at the cost savings and the efficiencies for the university, not only were they able to save costs on the physical credential itself when deploying it year over year for new students, the consumables and the printer and the materials to be able to issue those badges, as well as being able to distribute them remotely. And now with that being a bigger need than ever, they were really prepared for the pandemic from a credentialing standpoint, much more so than others that hadn't made the transition to mobile technology yet.
The numbers show that 77% of system integrators are male. What advice would you have for women breaking into the industry?
Yeah, the security industry is ripe with opportunity for anyone with an aptitude for technology and really the desire to solve problems. I don't see any limitation for women coming into this industry right now. There's a number of newer industry groups, whether you're looking at the SIA Women in Security Forum, the ASSA's Women in Security, or even the new Women in Cybersecurity group. Lots of networking opportunities, lots of support, both from the individual members as well as the corporate sponsors. I know Allegion has members in all of these organizations, and they continue to build their network throughout our industry outside of Allegion. I would certainly encourage anybody to take advantage of these opportunities and look at the networking there, potentially even the mentoring capabilities for either an early career or a long-term industry veteran. I think there's never been more opportunity than there is now.
I've been in the security industry for well over 30 years now, and in really all segments of the security industry. Over those 30 years, I've seen an incredible change in the prominence of women within our industry. And this is a phenomenal trend that we all should be quite proud of, but there's still more work to be done. And ASSA ABLOY as a company is very progressive. We have a number of our business units here in the Americas, which are led by highly qualified women. And I would suggest that any of you in your businesses take a close look at the mix between the men and women that are in your workforce, be it on the technician level, on the sales level, or in the management administrative levels, and provide as many opportunities as possible for women to be successful in your operation, your business, as we try to do and have done quite effectively, we believe, within ASSA ABLOY. So the opportunities have never been better for women to be successful in the security industry, and forums such as the Security Industry Association's Women in Security Forum is an exceptional way for young women who are coming into the industry to hear about other women that are in the industry and learn from them to be successful. So I hope that this trend will continue, and we'll see eventually equal balance between the men and women in the security industry, regardless of what the role might be.
Welcome back. Don't forget, we still have another two $250 Amazon gift cards to raffle off at the end of our trade show.
Well, wait a minute, Eric. Before we get to that, it wouldn't be a virtual trade show with a little bit of buy it from Bill, right?
Of course.
Okay. So I've recorded a short product segment on the new Camden Touchless switches, and we're going to go into that right now. Hi folks! Last night I was reflecting on the past 15 months. During the pandemic, we have been through some challenging times and seen American ingenuity at work. We saw great advances in medical treatments and research. Automotive factories made ventilators. Food delivery companies had large growth, and our industry has also responded. Our company adapted to the changes as well and expanded our 24-hour will call to allow contactless order pickup for safety. We also saw our manufacturers offer touchless solutions. Access Hardware Supply stocks several touchless solutions. One of the ones I'm going to cover today is Camden. They created a battery-powered touchless switch that takes the place of existing push buttons for low-energy door operators. Camden offers the patented CM330 SureWave series touchless switch line, and some models even run on standard AA batteries. As more COVID restrictions are lifted, it is important to provide a safe and inviting entry to customers, students, and patients. Now I'm going to demo the CM330. Traditional wireless push buttons for low energy door operators only require power when the button is pressed, sending the signal to the receiver. But with the SureWave unit, it needs power to the sensor at all times in order to be ready for an activation. Camden's achieved this with special circuitry that uses low power consumption, so they can run this on AA batteries. A lot of people have asked, how long will the batteries last? And I responded to them, it depends on how often the sensor is activated, since it requires power all the time to be ready for an activation. Under normal conditions, the SureWave sensor batteries will last just as long as the batteries in a traditional touch wireless button. We are experts at configuring touchless solutions for all of your applications. We are just a click, chat, or phone call away to assist you. For more information, go to accesshardware.com or call 800-348-2263, and our expert staff will help you configure your solution.
Before we get to our final questions and answering session and our final giveaway, we have one more short interview segment. Take a look. As the COVID-19 pandemic is becoming more manageable, millions of people are returning to work. Are there any product offerings to help employers keep their returning employees safe?
There is absolutely a need for us as an industry to help our customers, end user enterprises, bring their employees back to work in safe and secure ways. And fortunately for ASSA ABLOY, we do so many things, be it the mechanical and or electromechanical technologies, which are supportive of less friction and or full frictionless or touchless applications for almost any type of opening. And if you want to see a portfolio of what those technologies and solutions are, I suggest you look up the Safer to Open. That's Safer, the number 2, Open, all is one word. If you do Google search on Safer to Open by ASSA ABLOY, you'll see a full suite of technologies which will help you serve your customers in allowing them to bring employees back safely. I mentioned in some of the other segments that we have very innovative technologies that are able to be deployed in touchless and frictionless applications that support things like hot desking, where different employees may share an office, or even hot lockers, flexible locker space where you can do the same thing by provisioning and deprovisioning lockers using wireless cabinet locks alongside your access control platform to easily accomplish that. and or a Perio technology, which is wireless, but virtually online all the time. So you can change who can come and go from that particular office quite easily, or allow your employees, those customers of yours, to use a simple mobile application to register themselves for a particular office, and have secure access control into that office. Mobility is critically important in helping people feel comfortable for electronic security in coming back to the work environment as well.
Lock sets with more flexibility, options, and field customization are a must in today's integrator market. What new or recent products best meet these needs?
At Allegion, we're committed to leveraging and developing cutting-edge technology. As we look at working with our partners, everything from a small startup to the mega techs, want to make sure that we've got flexible, deployable solutions for you to meet your customers' needs. When we think about that, anything as simple as a no-cut strike that's field configurable as 12 or 24 volts, fail-safe or fail-secure. When you think about our credential technology, partnering with industry-leading smart card manufacturer NXP, and being backwards compatible with everything from MyFair Classic to launching Desfire EV3 a little bit later on this year, both supported on the MT series of readers as well as the MTB, now adding the inclusion of Bluetooth support as well as near-field communication. Similar conversation when you look at our lock sets with the NDE and LE. When they were developed, not only were they developed with flexibility from a credential standpoint of supporting both 125 kilohertz prox technology, multiple smart platforms, and now BLE and near-field communication for mobile, but really developed from a architecture standpoint that allows them to be deployed in 5 different types of system architecture with the same lock. And so whether that is 5 different ways on different sites or multiple different environments within the same user, the same lock is going to be able to meet all of those needs and be able to be configured different depending on the opening. So really, we try to incorporate the flexibility into all the products that we're launching for you, and to make sure that they don't only meet your needs today, but that they can meet your needs tomorrow as well. Eric, really just want to take the time to extend my appreciation and thank you and the whole Access Hardware organization, including myself, as well as Allegion as a part of your virtual event. Really appreciate the partnership. Hope we were able to answer some of your questions, add some value, and we're always here if you guys have any other follow-up. Thank you very much.
And we have 2 final questions to cover for Mark Duato and Mark Casey, and I'm going to read them for them. So for Mark Casey, this comes from a David Graham from Charles McMurray, or actually his coworker Jim Munoz, sorry about that. He is new to the industry and he's looking for any training resources you are aware of that would be helpful in his development.
Sure, Bill, appreciate that. And welcome to the industry. I think as everybody here on the line will tell you, once you're in, it's pretty hard to get out. From a training standpoint, I would really look at first utilizing your local organizations, like your local ASSA chapter, and reaching out to not only your suppliers like Access Hardware, who continually put on both virtual as well as in-person training events, and the manufacturers that support them. I know at Allegion, we've got a vast library of either self-paced trainings, a number of virtual pre-recorded trainings, as well as hopefully here in the short term, getting back to our face-to-face regional trainings and even factory tour training. So a lot of options out there depending on what it is exactly that you're looking into. I think these days with the access to information, the ability for an individual to join this industry and ramp up very quickly is faster now than ever.
All right, so our next question comes from Matt Vincent, and it's for Mark Duato on Endeavor Business Media. That is the company name. And what is your 5-year outlook for smart buildings and also LEED in the building industry? what do you see as the key access control points and value add opportunities for business owners?
That's a really great question, and thank you for the question. First off, more and more intelligence and analytical intelligence is being embedded into technology on a day-to-day basis. And I mentioned a little earlier how important the user experience is from an end user perspective, but it's also critically important to be able to capture as much data as possible and to use that data, via leveraging machine learning capabilities and data analytics algorithms and things of that nature to be able to, really manage your risk properly. And I think because of all of those things, we're still very much at the forefront of smart building technologies and where we're going as it relates to, as an industry I'm talking about, and as it relates to things like sustainable initiatives in how buildings are being built, LEED, and other green initiatives. Most buildings today are working towards becoming essentially 100% carbon footprint neutral, where the cost of delivering energy and what you need inside that building is actually self-sustaining. And I think that takes technology, but it also takes really creative design work on the construction phase and innovation built into the technologies that can help with those objectives. So I think both smart cities, smart buildings, and sustainable initiatives like LEED certifications will continue to become very, very prominent from here moving forward.
And I want to thank very much Mark Casey from Allegion and Mark Duato from ASSA ABLOY. They're leaders in their companies and also in this security industry. And for them to take the time out to help us out is really a big thing for us.
Absolutely.
And we hope that you enjoyed this content. And we're going to get on and draw our last two winners of the Amazon gift cards for $250.
Let's go, Bill. Oops.
All right, so one of the winners of the $250 gift card is Brenna Sieferman, and her company is not listed on here.
Well, let's draw the final winner, Bill.
The final winner of the Amazon $250 gift card is John Clifford from Mission Security Systems Incorporated. Congratulations. Thank you again for attending our virtual trade show. We hope you have a safe and productive summer.